The opioid crisis fueled by fentanyl has gripped our country for years.
It is not just hurting adults, young kids are victims too. Preliminary data from last year shows 20 kids in Minnesota were exposed to opioids, including fentanyl, and overdosed, but they did survive. A local prosecutor says there aren't enough legal protections in place to make sure the kids are safe. Caroline Cummings takes us to Aitkin, where a recent case is fueling a push for change at the state capitol.
In the quaint town of Aitkin, Assistant County Attorney Sebastian Meza sets boundaries, keeping his work, not personal.
I think maybe what I find most rewarding about it is the finality. When I'm done with a case, I'm done with it.
But one case from nearly 2 years ago, he just can't shake.
I try to separate how I feel from my job. But it was something that kind of shocked the conscience.
In July 2023, first responders answered a call about a 2-year-old experiencing an overdose. The child saved by Narcan after 3 doses of it. Later, authorities executed a search warrant at the home. What the Aitkin County Sheriff's Office and investigators found, a crib with another 2-year-old in it, very close to a plate of crushed fentanyl, with a ceiling fan flying above. Other kids were there too.
Fentanyl particles being blown into the air where these children are sleeping. It was just like stunning, really.
When Meza went to make his charging decisions, he says he came across a gap in part of the law, which says, quote, no person may knowingly cause or permit a child or vulnerable adult to inhale, be exposed to, have contact with, or ingest methamphetamine, a felony level offense, but fentanyl doesn't apply.
I was able to charge them with a gross misdemeanor, just general child neglect, but I didn't think that was appropriate to the situation or what those kids were facing, the reality of the danger that they were exposed to.
Senator Aitkin can come on forward for Senate File 456.
At the Capitol this year, a bipartisan bill that would change that, a proposal that Meza himself put on lawmakers' radar.
The county attorneys are just asking for this tool in their toolbox to be able to prosecute the people in the proper manner.
This wouldn't be the first time the legislature updated the law to reflect the reality of the fentanyl crisis. 2 years ago, lawmakers changed the statute for sale and possession of fentanyl to bring it in line with heroin, which until that change had stiffer penalties, even though illicit fentanyl is more potent. A recent study published in the American Journal of Drug and Alcohol Abuse shows an over 1,000% increase in fentanyl poisonings in children up to age 19 from 2015 to 2023. Meza says changing the law in this way will mean more people who expose children to this dangerous drug will face consequences that match the crime.
It just makes sense to hold people accountable for putting a child in danger that way.
In St. Paul, Caroline Cummings, WCCO News.
The proposal is eligible to be part of a larger public safety package at the end of session. There are versions in both the House and Senate.